Hi everyone, this is Jill, just coming back to you with a little tutorial on using PicMonkey. This is one of a lot of different types of programs and apps that you could use for creating your own graphics, for editing pictures, things like that. I do use some things, other things at times, but PicMonkey is really my go-to when I'm wanting to mess around with anything, and so I kind of wanted to walk you through a little bit of that. We're going to do it and kind of use as an example making a picture that I really recommend that you use if you're doing any kind of virtual parties of any sort. Using a picture that's going to draw people in. I've been amazed at what a difference it makes in really getting people involved and commenting and participating, and also a chance to really, for you to kind of get to know them. It's just a way to be really connecting with people, even though you may only ever get to know them online. So anyway, let's kind of move on here. And in doing that, we're going to start actually on Facebook, because just really starting from the very beginning, this is a message that I sent to one of my hosts. So I just want to come over here just to kind of give you an idea of basically saying, I'd like to use a picture of you for a How Do You Know Janet post, and is that okay? And, see if there was one in particular she wanted me to use, or I said, can I just pull one off for a Facebook page? Because I'm friends with her on Facebook. So she said, go for it. So what I did was I went into her page and got this picture, went up to, actually we're going to go to Janet's actual page, and I just went in there and looked at her pictures, which might seem a little bit creepy, but since we're friends on Facebook, and she's actually multiple time past host, we're pretty chummy. And, you could just look over here, you want something that has a pretty killer picture. It doesn't have to be only the host, but you want it to be very obvious which person is her. So, if it's like her and her husband, then clearly it's going to be obvious which one is her. If it was, say, one of these group pictures, that would be a little bit more tricky. So I came down here, and you guys have actually seen this one before, probably on our group Facebook page, because I just love, love, love it. And so that's what I ended up using was, ta-da, this one right here. So I took that, opened it up, and I'm not on a Mac, I am on a PC. So I just right-clicked on it and said Save Image. It went into my folder of PC things, and I just put host. I'm going to put Janet this time because I had already saved it under her last name. And I said save. Okay, there we go. Now, sometimes you might need to crop a little bit, and actually I believe, let me see what I did with that. I did crop this picture, but it wasn't at that point of saving. I think it's when I open up and edit it. So we're going to take a look at that. So now we're going to come over here and go to picmonkey.com. When this first opens up, and I don't have an account or anything with this, you can have an account, and there's a part of it that's paid. I use the free part of it. What I'm going to do is come in here, and these are all different things. So edit is what we're going to use right now, because I'm going to edit an existing picture. If you wanted to make a collage of multiple pictures, and sometimes you want to do that even just with text and backgrounds, but we'll play around with collage. I'll do another tutorial on that. But we're going to use edit today, and so I'm clicking on that, and then it comes up with this to allow me to go in and find the picture that I want to edit. I'm going to type in host Janet, find that there, and it's going to open up my picture. So once I get the picture on here, first thing I'm going to do is come over here, and these are all different things that you can do with it. We're going to use a couple of them, and the basic edits is this top one, and I'm going to say crop. And it's going to give me this thing here that I can move around. I want to get rid of this over here, so I'm going to, make it a little bit bigger, but keep out this, actually was Janet's husband in a kilt. At their daughter's wedding, as it happens. I want to leave some room, though, because I need to put my text, my How Do You Know Janet. So either next to it or underneath or above, depending on how the picture is kind of formatted, whatever seems to make the most sense in doing that is kind of what I want to be left with when it's done. So I'm going to go about like that, and then I'm going to come back over here and say apply and say, that looks pretty good. I think that's going to work. So now what I need to do is put on the text, and I can't just type it on here. I mean, you could, but I don't think it looks very good. I want something that looks a little bit better and is easier to read. So what I'm going to do is come over here to this butterfly symbol. The butterfly, the word that pops up, you'll see is overlays, and that means stuff that you can put on top of your picture, with the exception of text, because that's a separate tool. But they've got a bunch of things here. If you see this little crown, that's the section that you pay for. If you have a paid for account, then you can use the things, it's called Royale, and you can use those things. I just never have, because I just have found that I can do enough with the free. I'm going to come over here and choose geometric, and I'm going to choose this rectangle shape, so it's going to put it right there. But I can make it change shapes, and what I want to do is kind of make a block over here on the side where I'm going to be able to write, but I need a good enough background to be able to write and have the text show up and look nice and neat and pretty. So we're going to come over here, I got to pull it out a little bit, make sure it goes all the way to the edges, and then I've got a black base. Now, I could use the black, but honestly, I think something else looks a little bit nicer. So what I want to do is get a color that I feel like is going to be nicer with that picture. So that's where this little thing, once I clicked on it again, this little box comes up and it gives you some different things that you can do. The first one I'm going to do is the color. And so I'm clicking on that and it gives me all of these colors. Now I could, as you can see, it's changing all those colors. I could pick one of those, and I really like the lavender. So you could come in and do that and find one that you like. That's a pretty good one. That one would work as well, just something that looks pretty. Another option is to come up here and click on this little dropper. Okay, what that does is it's going to come in and pick a color that you point to. Okay, so this is where you're able to kind of color match. If you want something like right there, it's matching the colors there. If I wanted a burgundy or if I wanted white, I could come up and kind of go with that. I like that lavender color that's on her hat. That's so cool. So we're going to go with that, and then come on over here, close that out, and we are all set. Next thing is going to be to put some text. So I'm going to come over here and click on the letter T. That's my text tool. And I'm going to say, I kind of like, let's play around with this right here, this font. So I clicked on the font that I want, and I click on Add Text. Now, it's going to give me this box, and I'm just going to start typing in there. How, and I'm going to do a return, do you return, no, return, Janet. Now, of course, this is going to change depending on what you're typing and how you're doing things. You can change this and make it larger and smaller. I also want this to be centered. So when I finished typing, you notice that the text is not highlighted, but it does allow me to change the size of the box, okay? When you want to actually change the text, though, the color, or maybe you decide you don't like that font, if you click on it, then it's going to highlight that. Or you could highlight just portions of it. If you wanted to make one of the words larger or a different font, you could do that. I'm going to come over here and center it. And then I'm going to want to move this whole thing, which I need to deselect by clicking out there, and move the whole thing over here because I want that to be on my color bar. I'm going to choose that again. I'm going to come over here to size. You can either type in a size or you can take this and just slide it over till it gets to be about, well, that's a little bit big. I'm back it down a little bit. I like that size. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here and move this whole thing down. Oops, let me go back there. There we go. Move it down. Now the other thing I think would look nice is if that font, the black is a little bit harsh. So I'm going to do this, select that text, and come back over here. And you could change it to any color that you wanted. I'm going to change it to white because I think that's a nice contrast with the purple and also looks kind of nice with the rest of the colors in the picture. So we've got How Do You Know Janet on a nice purple background, cute little picture of Janet, and it's it. Really, that's it. That's all there is to it. If you did want to change the font, again, you could go ahead and select that. Okay, when I clicked over there, you notice it selected the black or the purple part. I want to select the text, so I'm going to click over here because I know that my text box extended out beyond. Otherwise, since those are one on top of the other, sometimes you're trying to select one and you end up grabbing the other one. So this way I know that I've got my text box. I'm going to click in there and select my text. And you could come over here and you can just play with this. You can just click on any of these different fonts. Let's move that out of the way a little bit because you see you can scroll down. Now the ones that have, again, a crown next to them, those are part of the paid subscription ones. So you're not going to be able to use those unless you choose to get a subscription. So we could come down and say, let's see, I kind of like this lobster one. Actually, no, I don't. Let's get rid of that. Maybe on this you want something that's kind of a script and a little bit, looking like your own handwriting. But no, I don't think I like that one either. Let's, you've got all kinds of fun things. Emily's Candy, which is a fun font, but I don't feel like it really is fitting for the picture. So I'm going to come back up here. I really think I like the first one that I started with. So let me go back and find that. And that was Playball. So that's going to be our font for this time. Get rid of that box, and we are done. So then I'm going to come up here and click on Save, because that's what I want to end up with. I'm going to come over here, Save to my computer. And I'm actually going to save it with the same name it had before, because before it was just the picture of Janet. Now I've added that text. I'm not likely to want to use that picture of Janet for anything else. So I'm going to just use it for that, and I'm going to say Save. Of course, it's asking if I want to replace it, because it's already there. And I said, yes, I will. If you're editing a picture that you might want to edit the original again in a different way, then just save it under a different name, so you have that to go back to. So that now is in my on my computer, on my hard drive, saved with all my other pictures, so that when I want to put that in as a post in a virtual party, I'm going to be able to do that very easily. And all these people, I'm telling you, they come out of the woodwork to tell you how they know Janet, where they met her, how long they've known her, what an awesome person she is. And it's a very fun way, again, to really get the party started, get people engaged, and you have a good idea of who's out there and can interact with them. When I have that post on a virtual party and people have been responding to it and putting how they do it, I'll go into every single one of those, and at very least I'll say, you know, oh, hi, Janelle, or, you know, whatever it is, whoever it is, welcome to the party. If there's at all something that I can say about their comment, then I'm going to try to do that and really make it personal. In fact, let me go into, this is really sort of off the whole PicMonkey thing, but I'm going to go into one of these parties I have going on and just show you some of the comments and things where people have been interacting with the how do you know so-and-so. Oh, in fact, there's one right there for my host Janelle that I have gone. Here's how do you know Janelle. In this case, she said, oh, just use my profile picture. And so I've used that one from her profile. I've also had some people that send me one that they prefer, so they can, that's fine. So all of these people are saying, oh, you know, this person is, you know, somebody that I worked with. This is, I've known her since the day she was born. I went to school with her, you know, and we've got somebody had, you know, that their sons were both Marines at Parris Island for boot camp, you know, so I made a comment about thank you for your son's service. You know, there just are a lot of different things. Down here, somebody put sister-in-law, future wife, LOL, haha. And I put, oh, sounds like a great story, you know, that comment was. So it's just is the sort of thing like if you were at a live party and you were talking to people, you'd really might be able to get in conversation with them. So jumping back over to PicMonkey, there's our picture of how do you know Janet, and hopefully that was helpful in terms of doing some editing with PicMonkey, and we'll do another tutorial another time. There are a lot of other things that you can do with this, but we'll just try to do it maybe a little bit at a time. But if you have any questions, of course, as always, let me know. Thanks. Bye-bye.